Sare Chor Modi jibe haunts Rahul. Convicted in 2019 defamation case. Two-year jail term sentence for Rahul. Out on bail, Rahul faces disqualification. Convicted Rahul to lose MP tag. Defamation Raga. Top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
Good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, and this evening we're getting you all the latest updates coming in on Rahul Gandhi's conviction. Hours ago, he came out of a Surat court after having been held guilty for a comment he made in 2019, where he said, "Sare Modi chor hai." Now, it's over that there are questions about whether Rahul Gandhi loses his MP tag, whether he gets disqualified. We're getting you the updates on that, what you need to know, the legality, the law, etc. Let's get you the headlines first. Rahul Gandhi arrives in Delhi after conviction in defamation case. Rahul likely to appear in Lok Sabha shortly. Congress stages nationwide protest. Congress cries foul over Rahul's conviction, alleges court proceedings were fixed. BJP says Rahul must apologize. Arvind Kejriwal's big attack on the Prime Minister, says he needs sleeping pills, launches AAP's Modi Hatao Desh Bachao campaign. BJP's mega Muslim outreach in Uttar Pradesh, Saffron Party to distribute 1 lakh books on Modi's Man Ki Baat in Urdu in Muslim majority areas. After MNS chief Raj Thackeray alleged illegal dargah being built off Mumbai's Mahim coast, cops razed the structure to the ground. And India Today accesses dark money trail of Amritpal Singh. His wife Kirandeep Kaur emerges as the chief fund manager. Let's begin with all the live updates coming in on the big story of Rahul Gandhi being convicted by a Surat court in a 2019 defamation case. He's expected any moment now to appear in Parliament. This as the Parliament is reconvening now at 6 p.m. Rahul Gandhi is currently at his residence in the national capital, having reached there just about 30 minutes ago. He was seen waving, smiling at the crowds, as you see on the right of your screens there. There are a lot of questions of what Rahul Gandhi has to say. He hasn't spoken since he was convicted by the Surat court, only putting out a number of tweets where he quoted Mahatma Gandhi saying, "I will continue to stand for the truth." Moshmi Singh is joining us live with more details on this. Moshmi, get us the latest updates. You're reporting from Rahul Gandhi's residence. Is he expected in Parliament in a short while from now?
Akshita, Rahul Gandhi is likely to go to the Lok Sabha, which will reconvene at 6 o'clock. These are the scenes that are unfolding outside Rahul Gandhi's residence. You can see security and barricades, and right outside on the road at Tughlaq Lane, people squatting on the streets, Congress workers and several other leaders have been pouring in. P. Chidambaram and Abhishek Manu Singhvi, two legal luminaries of the Congress party, are also right here. And of course, many Congress MPs are also stationed outside Rahul Gandhi's residence. Imran Pratapgarhi, आपसे एक रिएक्शन लेंगे. एक मामला कोर्ट में चल रहा है, इसको किस तरह से आप लोग आगे ले जाएंगे? क्या ये लड़ाई अब सड़क पर आ गई?
देखिए, कोर्ट के फैसले का सम्मान करते हुए हम उससे पूरी तरह असहमति जताते हैं, क्योंकि राहुल गांधी जी ने ऐसा कुछ नहीं कहा जिस पे सजा दी जा सके। राहुल गांधी जी ने सामान्य भ्रष्टाचारियों के नाम गिनाते हुए अपनी बात रखी थी, और इस तरह से लोकोक्तियों में, कहावतों में, मुहावरों में भारत में अपनी बात कहने का भाषाई एक चलन है। राहुल गांधी जी ने सजा होने लायक कोई बात कही ही नहीं है। ऐसे में कोर्ट का फैसला ठीक है, हम उसका सम्मान करते हैं, लेकिन उससे असहमत हैं और हम ऊपरी कोर्ट में जाएंगे। और हम ये मानते हैं कि राहुल गांधी जी की आवाज को दबाने के लिए जितने प्रयास हो सकते हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी कुछ सालों से कर रही है, लगातार कर रही है।
और अगर ऐसी बात है तो राहुल गांधी कह रहे हैं कि अगर कहा जा रहा है कि राहुल गांधी माफी मांग ले, कि उन्होंने जो बोला अगर आहत हुई है भावना तो वो माफी मांगते हैं, क्या माफी मांगेंगे राहुल?
देखिए, राहुल गांधी माफी मांगने वाले शख्स का नाम नहीं है। राहुल गांधी माफी नहीं मांगेंगे। आपको जो सजा देनी है राहुल गांधी जी को दे दीजिए। राहुल गांधी किस बात के लिए माफी मांगे कि उन्होंने देश को जोड़ने की बात की? वो किस बात के लिए माफी मांगे कि उन्होंने लोकतंत्र को बचाने की बात की? वो इस बात के लिए माफी मांगे कि उन्होंने अडानी और सरकार के अनैतिक गठजोड़ को उजागर किया? राहुल गांधी जी को क्यों माफी मंगवाना चाहती है?
बयान उन्होंने दिया,
इस बयान में भी माफी मांगने जैसा क्या है? क्या नीरव मोदी चोर नहीं है? क्या ललित मोदी ने देश का पैसा नहीं खाया है?
सारे मोदी सरनेम वाले चोर हैं, ये बात
नहीं, कम से कम जितने हैं इन दोनों के नाम के सामने मोदी सरनेम नहीं लगा है क्या? नहीं लगा है क्या? लगा है ना। जब इन दोनों के नाम के सामने मोदी सरनेम लगा है और इनका नाम राहुल गांधी जी अपने भाषण में ले रहे हैं, तो मोदी सरनेम हटा करके तो नाम लेंगे नहीं। जब वो नीरव कहेंगे तो मोदी भी कहना पड़ेगा, ललित कहेंगे तो मोदी भी कहना पड़ेगा। अब ऐसे में उसको ये कहना कि पूरे समाज का अपमान किया, ये तो जबरदस्ती राहुल गांधी जी को डराने और धमकाने और उनकी आवाज को कुचलने की कोशिश है।
So here you are, Akshita, you can see that Gandhi है, सावरकर नहीं, slogans like these and Rahul Gandhi माफी नहीं मांगेंगे. These are the slogans that are prevailing here outside Tughlaq Lane. We are waiting whether Rahul Gandhi would be going to the parliament because the parliament has already started. But there are legal experts, he's consulting them. Sonia Gandhi is also inside.
Yes.
So perhaps a deliberation going on inside.
So clearly right now a huddle that's underway at Rahul Gandhi's residence. You saw senior-most Congress leaders all gathering there at his home just before he reached, including his mother Sonia Gandhi, who's currently there. Maushmi, we'll keep coming across to you for the latest updates. Let's round up for all of you watching exactly what's happened in the last few hours. It all started with Rahul Gandhi appearing at the Surat court to be convicted in a 2019 defamation case against him over comments that he made in Karnataka's Kolar, where he targeted Prime Minister Modi. Now, it was the Modi community that came together and said, "You've tarnished our image," as a result of which he's been convicted with a 2-year jail term. He immediately was granted bail as well. Now, Rahul Gandhi and the Congress are taking up this all-out fight forward, making this completely political. And in our next report, we also tell you the kind of comments that have been made by Congress netas.
An explosive political attack made by Rahul in 2019. The gali politics of calling all Modis as thieves has now massively backfired for the Congress MP. A Surat court has sentenced Rahul Gandhi to 2 years jail, the maximum punishment in a defamation case, before granting him bail. In the court, Rahul tried to defend his stand, claiming he didn't insult or defame any community, nor made the remark with a malefied intent, adding he was only trying to raise his voice against corruption. This, however, failed to convince the court, which took a grim view of his chore attack on the Modi community.
जजमेंट आया है, फैसला आया है, तो फैसला का हम हृदय से स्वागत करते हैं। ये सामाजिक आंदोलन है। अगर किसी भी समाज के ज्ञाति को, किसी सरनेम को, किसी विशेष ज्ञाति जो प्रधान हमारा भारत है, उसके विरुद्ध में ऐसा बयान नहीं करना चाहिए और कुछ नहीं।
आगे अपील, दैट्स द ओनली वे ओपन।
अच्छा, यहाँ से सीधा हाई कोर्ट में आप अपील?
हाई कोर्ट नहीं जा सकते हम, सेशंस कोर्ट में अपील होगी। यदि सेशंस नहीं कर सुनती हमारी बात तो फिर हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा सकते हैं।
After walking out on bail, Rahul ducked India Today questions.
Rahul ji, a comment from you, please. We are trying to get a reaction from Rahul Gandhi at this point of time, but there is massive security personnel all around. We are not being allowed inside. We are again trying. Rahul ji, a rather cryptic tweet on your part. Can you clarify, sir? Rahul ji, sir, please come out and give a reaction. Rahul ji, please come out and give a reaction. We need to wait and watch if Rahul Gandhi will indeed come out and give a reaction.
The Congress immediately rushed to defend Rahul and made an explosive claim, alleging that the legal process and judges were fixed by the BJP to penalize Rahul Gandhi.
हमको मालूम था पहले से ये लोग जज को बदलते गए, ये सारी चीजें करते गए, हमको तो अंदाजा लग रहा था, लेकिन हम कानून में विश्वास रखने वाले हैं, जुडिशरी में विश्वास रखने वाले हैं।
राहुल गांधी जी के ऊपर ये एक हिनोने साजिश है, इस किसी के अपमान करने के लिए और किसी की छवि खराब करने के लिए नहीं कहा। उनको लगे कि हर जगह मोदी टाइटल क्यों आ रहे हैं, जहां इल्जाम लगते हैं वहां मोदी टाइटल क्यों आ रहे हैं, तो ये तो उनको लगा, महसूस हुआ, इसलिए कहा।
But the BJP called Rahul's conviction a fitting penalty for Rahul's Gali politics.
कानूनी व्यवस्था में अनर्गल बेतुके आरोप लगाने वालों पर सजा का सीधा प्राविधान है और मुझे विश्वास है इस न्यायिक आदेश से सीख लेते हुए हम सभी को यह सुनिश्चित करना चाहिए कि सार्वजनिक जीवन में शब्दों की मर्यादा किसी भी सूरत में टूटने न पाए।
अगर आप एक पूरे सरनेम को इस तरह से इंसल्ट करेंगे कि जिसका सरनेम मोदी हुआ वो चोर होता है, तो बिल्कुल डिफेमेटरी है ना। जो कानून की प्रक्रिया है उसके अनुसार ये निर्णय हुआ।
जिंदाबाद, जिंदाबाद, जिंदाबाद।
Congress workers hit the streets in many cities, calling Rahul Gandhi's conviction in the defamation case an assault on democracy. This attack was one of the many jibes targeted at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has only used them to his advantage.
जितना कीचड़ उछालोगे, कमल उतना ही ज्यादा खिलेगा।
Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's put out a quick update for you. Now, there was a lot of speculation that Rahul Gandhi is going to appear in Parliament with endless disruptions in a matter of minutes. You've got both houses of the Parliament essentially being adjourned again. The Lok Sabha has been adjourned. The Prime Minister was also there briefly when we saw the ruckus, the sloganeering continuing, which means, again, there was no business. And Rahul Gandhi clearly has no intention of turning up in Parliament at this time. But the political face-off between the BJP and the Congress continues on this issue. You had both parties squaring off. The BJP saying that it's clear that Rahul Gandhi made defamatory comments, even as the Congress has said that this is an attempt to target Rahul to dent his image after the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
I would urge Shri Rahul Gandhi, if he represents the politics of truth and love as he claims, he must come to terms with the fact that today Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji is the most loved, most admired and the most trusted leader in India and across the world. I think Shri Rahul Gandhi ji should apologize to the people of India for his series of irresponsible defamatory statements.
This judgment is unsustainable. It will be set aside by the higher judiciary. There is no precedence for a rhetorical political speech given in one state to be found defamatory in another state. There is no precedence for that. And there is no precedence for a sentence of this quantum for the sections which the judgment is quoting. And this is another statistics which they're cooking up about saying that their Vishwaguru is somehow the most loved person in the world. I mean, what metrics is Mr. Piyush Goyal using to find out who the most loved person in the world? I believe I'm the most loved person in the world. So, I mean, that's what everybody believes, don't they?
I want to bring in on this broadcast consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai. Also with us is our legal editor Nalini Sharma to explain to you whether Rahul Gandhi faces disqualification now or not, considering he's been convicted in this case. Rajdeep, to talk about all of the political takeaways from what's happened today, let's first discuss what this means for Rahul Gandhi. Does this really dent his image? You know, there's been an attempt by the Congress to kind of mold a certain narrative around Rahul Gandhi, particularly post the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Has that kind of been dented?
Do I think that this dents Rahul Gandhi's image? You know, much like Prime Minister Modi, Rahul Gandhi is also a polarizing figure. So Supporters of Rahul Gandhi will believe that this is a campaign by the government in some form to harass Rahul Gandhi, that the courts are part of this campaign, and therefore will see Rahul Gandhi as a martyr. On the other hand, critics of Rahul Gandhi will believe that these are just desserts, that Rahul Gandhi tends to speak out of turn, that he should be much more careful with the use of language, and therefore the criminal defamation is appropriate. It is a very polarized world out there. The question is those in the middle, those who have neither strong views pro or anti Rahul Gandhi, how do they perceive it against the backdrop of the BJP demanding an apology for his remarks in London, for the fact that Rahul Gandhi has been facing the heat in a way from the BJP for every remark that he makes? Will they see Rahul Gandhi as some kind of a victim of a Gujarat court ruling, or will they see Rahul Gandhi as someone who just simply needs to be more careful with the words he uses? It just depends also how the Congress plays this. The Congress will, of course, try and support Rahul Gandhi to whatever extent possible. Will they be able to intelligently take this campaign to the people and be able to claim that Rahul Gandhi is being unfairly targeted? That remains to be seen, and I think that in itself will decide the kind of impact this has on Rahul Gandhi's image in the near future.
Right. Rajdeep, just stay on with me. I want to focus on another aspect, and this is over whether Rahul Gandhi now will face disqualification because of the fact that he's been convicted. Let's break down for you what exactly the norm says. Now, if someone is convicted, Rahul Gandhi faces immediate disqualification as Wayanad Member of Parliament because he's been convicted by a court. And usually the norm is 2 years or more, then you go ahead and face that kind of conviction of being disqualified as an MP. Now, beyond that, also what we have to tell you is that because of this, as per the norm, the disqualification could last up to 8 years. This is for the term of imprisonment delivered by the court plus another 6 years. So in all, Rahul Gandhi may face an 8-year ban from polls. Let's also tell you that as far as this disqualification rule is concerned, it comes into play after a certain amount of period. So Rahul Gandhi has about 30 days time when he has to move the Sessions Court and stay this conviction if he hopes not to get disqualified as an MP. So he's going to be doing that immediately. The disqualification is imminent, will happen if the Sessions Court doesn't provide any relief to Rahul Gandhi and instead upholds what the Surat Court has said. Their ruling of holding Rahul Gandhi guilty of making defamatory comments. Now remember that as far as in fact the defamation and the disqualification rule is concerned, this is based also on a ruling from the Supreme Court because it says clearly that the law is that the disqualification happens from the day of conviction. So essentially for Rahul Gandhi, it starts today. The fact is that because he immediately took legal steps, right now there's going to be a period when Rahul Gandhi doesn't face that kind of action. But let's also tell you right now that the Supreme Court's 2013 ruling cleared immediate disqualification. The top court made it very, very clear that there will be no compromise when it comes to having any convicted member of parliament. So they said immediately they have to get disqualified. An example in this case is Azam Khan's son, who was disqualified as the Uttar Pradesh MLA after conviction. It led to fresh elections also. But that is one particular example that many have been quoting to say that Rahul Gandhi does face the very serious threat of being disqualified. But let's take this across to our legal editor, Nalini Sharma, for more details. Nalini, break down for us exactly what the Supreme Court has said on the disqualification of members of parliament, of members of the Legislative Assembly. What happens when they get convicted in a case? Is it immediate disqualification? How is it that then Rahul Gandhi isn't immediately disqualified?
Well, Akshita, to understand this, we have to understand the finer aspects of the Representation of People's Act. Now, Section 8 of the RP Act essentially talks about certain offences for which any sitting member of the parliament or any legislator for that matter can in fact be disqualified. If none of those offences are met, then for any other offence where the punishment is greater than 2 years, 2 years or greater than 2 years, the sitting legislator can be disqualified in accordance with the Representations of People's Act. Now, prior to 2013, which is when this Supreme Court judgment of Lily Thomas that we are talking about came into being, there was another clause in Section 8 that had allowed for a 3 months grace period after the conviction had happened and before the disqualification proceedings started. This grace period was given so that the conviction or the order of the court could be challenged by the legislator. But from the 2013 judgment of Lily Thomas, the Supreme Court struck down Section 8, Clause 4 of the Representation of People's Act. And what they essentially said was that your disqualification will become active on the day that the legislator has been convicted. Important to highlight over here, Akshita, we're not talking about sentencing, we're talking about conviction. So because the conviction has happened today, Rahul Gandhi can, in fact, disqualification proceedings against him can be initiated today itself. He has an option of appealing before the Sessions Court and ultimately the High Court and the Supreme Court. And if a stay is granted, then of course his disqualification proceeding and the further ban that can be imposed on him, both of them will be stayed in accordance with the RP Act itself.
So this is dicey ground essentially for Rahul Gandhi. There's a very, very serious threat right now that he faces of being disqualified as a member of parliament. Rajdeep, what do you think? Do you think there's a strong chance right now of Rahul Gandhi being disqualified as a member of parliament? Because that's huge then.
Well, Akshita, there are precisely 3 sections of the Representation of People's Act that deal with disqualification of a legislator or a member of parliament. Sections 8.1, 8.2 and 8.3. 8.1 is for serious offences, Section 8.2 is for relatively less serious offences, and Section 8.3 is for even less serious offences. The sense from criminal defamation for which Rahul Gandhi has been convicted for 2 years would come, I believe, under Section 8.3, where he would stand disqualified under Section 8.3 unless the appellate court not only stays the sentence but crucially suspends the conviction. Rahul Gandhi does have time to go and appeal, possibly to the Gujarat High Court first, and get a stay not only on his sentence but get the conviction suspended. Should that happen, then of course Rahul Gandhi is free to contest. If that doesn't happen, then it is the discretion of the speaker who will have to go through the judgment and take a call on that. But given the fact that criminal defamation may not be seen quite as some of the other offences under which MLAs in the past and MPs have been disqualified, Rahul Gandhi will hope that he can get a more favourable ruling from a higher court and get his conviction suspended so that he can continue as a member of parliament and contest the next election.
Okay, Rajdeep, just stay with me, because another aspect that this entire issue has brought up right now is the debate over the defamation law. Is it a draconian law? Should it be done away with? All of that has come back to the fore with this particular case against Rahul Gandhi and his conviction. So let's give you a bit of a backgrounder into the defamation law. It was conceived back in 1837 by Lord Macaulay. So it was brought about by the British here in India as well. It was introduced also in 1860 in the IPC first draft. So since the 1800s to today, this law is still very much in place. It's the act of communicating false information to a third party. So this particular act is what leads to a defamation case being slapped against someone, and that's not the only case. It's also of a case of false information that damages someone's reputation, in which case also they can go ahead and move court and file for defamation. It can be redressed with monetary compensation, but also besides a fine, there can also be a jail term of up to 2 years, as you've seen in the case of Rahul Gandhi. The maximum jail term in the case of a defamation violation is 2 years, and Rahul Gandhi has got that maximum punishment. There are 2 types of defamation, of course, civil and criminal. It's largely over criminal defamation that there's been a huge debate on that particular issue. So, taking this back across to Rajdeep. Rajdeep, let's talk about this defamation law. There's a huge debate about it. There's always been for the last many years. Every time there's a case that's put up against someone under defamation, many countries have gotten rid of this law, saying it's draconian and that it's in direct contradiction to one's freedom of expression?
Well, it's interesting. Defamation laws have evolved over times. It is a colonial law in many ways. Criminal defamation in particular is being struck off the statute books in several countries, including in 2009 in the United Kingdom, where it was said that defamation should be treated as a civil tort and not as a breach of criminal law. In India, on the other hand, there was a challenge to criminal defamation, ironically led by none other than Subramaniam Swamy, who's faced a slew of defamation cases against him. He went to the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of criminal defamation. However, he lost the case. A number of journalistic organizations and some of us had also joined in that petition. However, the court ruled that under Article 19, freedom of speech, one of the reasonable restrictions was criminal defamation. It did act as a deterrent, and therefore, as of now, it is still very much on the statute books, although a number of critics say it's being used as an instrument of harassment and therefore needs to be struck off the statute books.
True, and there are many within the Congress also who raised this particular issue, saying, is it a time we scrapped this kind of a law that's been in place since the 1800s? Thanks very much, Rajdeep, for staying with us here on 6 p.m. Prime, for joining us on every aspect and every angle that we're tracking on this story. Let's round up for you all the updates that have come in, because as Rahul Gandhi arrived in Surat today, there's lots of drama. Congress has been staging nationwide protests as well. Let's get you all those updates. Rahul Gandhi arrived in Surat. In fact, just before his court hearing, there were several Congress leaders who had gathered at the Surat airport to welcome Rahul Gandhi. A large number of party workers also gathered at various locations throughout the city to show their support for the Congress MP. Rahul Gandhi hasn't given any reaction since the verdict that came in, since the conviction. India Today, in fact, confronted Rahul Gandhi, but he refused to answer any of our questions. Congress supporters were seen raising slogans in support of Rahul, chants like "Daro Mat" as he entered the court.
Security guards all around him.
And the Congress has been ensuring its one show of solidarity after another. These are images of when Rahul Gandhi touched down in the national capital, where Congress MPs, leaders all came together at the Delhi airport to welcome Rahul Gandhi. What followed the verdict was a huge protest which erupted on ground. In the national capital, several Congress leaders hit the streets against the court verdict. Congress cadre claimed the verdict was already fixed against Rahul Gandhi by the BJP. And it wasn't just in the national capital. There were huge protests that erupted across the country, from Chennai to Bengaluru to Dehradun to Thiruvananthapuram. Congress party workers turned up in large numbers to showcase the support for Rahul Gandhi and lash out at the BJP. Rahul Gandhi! And with that, I'm slipping into a short break here on 6 p.m. Prime. Do stay with us. Coming up on the other side, we're getting you all the beautiful, heartwarming images that came in from the Padma Awards last evening. Truly, the people's Padma.